Andy Gibb. There's something uniquely heartbreaking about watching a star burn its brightest, just before it goes out forever. Andy Gibb was barely 30 years old when he died in a hospital bed in Oxford, England, in March 1988, 5 days after his birthday, at the very moment his life seemed to be turning around. Decades later, the questions surrounding his rise, his collapse, and his tragically early death still linger for fans who grew up with his voice on the radio. Now, his eldest sister Lesley Gibb, at 81 years old, and long removed from the noise of the entertainment world, has offered what may be the most honest and tender account of who her youngest brother truly was, beneath all the glamour. What she revealed is not a story of scandal. It's something quieter and more painful than that. It's the story of a sensitive soul who never quite found solid ground beneath his feet, no matter how high the charts took him. Before we get into all of that, it's worth pausing to understand just how extraordinary Andy Gibb's ascent really was. In a music industry already dominated by his famous older brothers, Barry, Robin, and Maurice of the Bee Gees, Andy carved out something that appeared to be entirely his own. He was young, effortlessly charming, and possessed of a voice that could make even the most ordinary pop lyric feel like a confession. When RSO Records signed him in 1976, at the urging of legendary music executive Robert Stigwood, the world was about to meet a new kind of teen idol. What followed was a chart run so remarkable it has never been fully replicated. Moving to Miami, Florida at 18 to record his debut material, Andy worked closely with his eldest brother Barry, who helped shape his sound and his approach to songwriting. The collaboration produced results that stunned the industry. His first single, I Just Want to Be Your Everything, written by Barry, shot to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1977, and stayed there for weeks. Before the momentum from that debut had even fully faded, his second single, Love Is Thicker Than Water, co-written by the two brothers, followed the exact same path straight to the top of the chart. 2 singles in, 2 #1s. People started to pay attention in a very different way. Then came 1978, and with it, the song that would define his legacy. Shadow Dancing was a creative collaboration between all 4 Gibb brothers, a rare instance of the entire family contributing to a single piece of music, and it became one of the biggest songs of the entire year. It sat at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 consecutive weeks, and was ultimately ranked the most commercially successful single in America, across all 52 weeks of 1978. By the time the dust had settled, Andy Gibb had achieved something no male solo artist had ever done before. His first 3 debut singles had all reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and he had accomplished that before turning 21. The record books had to be rewritten. Yet, even at the height of all this, something complicated was already stirring beneath the surface. According to Lesley Gibb's recent reflections, Andy never fully trusted that the adoration he received was truly his own. She has said that he frequently worried the public only accepted him because of the enormous reputation of his brothers, that he was famous by association rather than by merit, a passenger on someone else's rocket rather than the pilot of his own. For a young man who was genuinely talented and who had achieved things that stood entirely on their own terms, this fear was both irrational and devastatingly persistent. It followed him everywhere, coloring his relationship with success and making it difficult for him to simply enjoy what he had earned. His personal life during this period was equally turbulent. On July 11, 1976, he married his girlfriend, Kim Reeder, in Sydney, a union that quickly became strained under the pressure of touring, public scrutiny, and the relentless demands of a career that was accelerating faster than either of them had anticipated. The marriage ended in divorce in 1978, around the time their daughter Peta was born. The breakdown of his first serious adult relationship left a mark on the young singer that those close to him say he never entirely recovered from. He had everything the world considers success, and yet he was, in many important ways, profoundly alone. The early 1980s brought an attempt at reinvention. Andy moved into television, co-hosting the popular American music program Solid Gold from 1981 to 1982, alongside singer Marilyn McCoo. He also tested himself in live theater, taking leading roles in Broadway productions of The Pirates of Penzance in 1981 and Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in 1982. These projects demonstrated a versatility that went beyond the recording studio, and for a time, they seemed to offer a new direction, a way of expanding his identity beyond the pop prince image that had defined his late teens and early 20s. It was also during this period